Welcome to The Disappearing Mind, a unique podcast helping you find clarity and support along your dementia journey. Now, join National Dementia Trainer and Coach Dawn Platt for an all-new episode.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of The Disappearing Mind. I am Dawn Platt, your host, and we're talking about an often overlooked group in the world of caregiving, the caregiver themselves. Thank you for joining. Today, we're going to talk about supporting the supporter, 7 essential do's and don'ts for caring for caregivers. This is something we can't talk about enough. I say it over and over again. I wasn't so good about always doing this myself, and I suspect that if you're listening to my podcast, you may fall in that category as well. If you're caring for someone with dementia, Alzheimer's, or any chronic illness, you know that caregiving can be emotionally exhausting. It can be physically draining and mentally overwhelming at times. We love to care for those that we love, our family, our friends, but what about the people who support you, the caregiver? So this episode is for friends, it's for family, and for partners of caregivers, those who may want to help you as a caregiver, but may not always know how to help. Really, really important. I have people tell me all the time, boy, I want to do something, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what to offer. And we all know that there are people who we simply don't hear from anymore once we become part of the dementia journey. They just don't know how to act. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to offer. But then there are other people who would love to do something. And maybe you're like me and you just don't always ask for the help that you need. This episode here is for that. We're going to make some suggestions here of what would make a huge difference in supporting the supporter. So I'll be sharing 7 essential do's and don'ts to help you support the caregiver in your life with empathy, with patience, and with understanding. Also, we're going to dive into a few other things today as we get into this podcast. But let's go ahead and get started. There's some real do's and don'ts to supporting a caregiver in your life, whether it's a friend, whether it's a relative. A lot of factors involved. Maybe you're part of a family and you're that child that lives out of state. And so you're not directly involved. You visit, you do things, you say things. There can be some important things that you just even say or acknowledge that will become important. We're going to get into some of those today. Let's talk about some of the things you can do. And these are really important. I experienced them myself as the main caregiver, as the care manager. Number 1, do listen. Listening seems very simple, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do. People aren't always looking for answers. They're just looking for someone to hear them. I never wanted real answers. I just wanted somebody to hear me. And I think families are really like that. It's a powerful thing. Listen, hey, call me if you need to talk. Hey, call me. Hey, I'm here for you. I'm so thankful for what you're doing. I'm here if you need to talk. I mean, how reassuring is that? When a caregiver comes home after a tough day, maybe they've had a meeting with the neurologist or dealt with a crisis at the doctor or a memory care facility, they need to be heard. Whether you can solve the problem or not, they just need someone to hear them and acknowledge and to validate who they are and what they're trying to do. Here's kind of a personal example from one of our guests' story. After a harrowing day that involved a neurologist, an escape attempt, and a sheriff, she came home grief-stricken and tried to share her experience. Her husband, a well-meaning but unprepared person, simply said, well, you're home now. Don't worry about it, and returned to watching TV. This response left this daughter feeling very isolated. If you are not in a caregiver's shoes, if you don't have to navigate the healthcare system and journey, sometimes you don't understand the weight that it can carry. Really, really important. Here's a tip for supporting a caregiver. Stop what you're doing. Give them your full attention, at least for a few minutes, and listen without interrupting. You don't need to solve their problems. Just listen. A simple hug can go a long way too. Or saying, you're a really good daughter. You've always been there for your mom or your dad. The family is lucky to have you caring for mom or dad. It goes so far in helping that person. It really does make all the difference in the world. Don't offer unsolicited advice, please. Please, I can't say this enough. It's tempting to jump in with solutions. I do that because I'm a dementia coach, but when you hear about a problem, to try and fix it. But unless the caregiver in your life specifically asks for advice, resist the urge to fix things because they may have tried or they may feel guilty for not having the solution. Just listen. If they ask you what to do, then you might make a few suggestions, but just be very, very cautious for jumping in and offering unsolicited advice. It doesn't always sit well. In a story, a loved one was involved in an altercation in a memory care setting, a memory care community. And family members were very quick to criticize caregivers' decisions. Here's one thing that we want to talk about. Caregivers often have very little time to process situations that they're in, and they have to make tough calls pretty quickly. So judgment and hindsight, critics only make them feel worse. You as a caregiver may not always make a good decision, but having someone else point that out is probably not going to be very helpful to you. I think most people engaged in caregiving really understand what they've done wrong and what they've done right. We're not talking here about a professional caregiver that you've hired who did something wrong, but we're just really talking about always having to be right, always making the right decisions. Probably is not going to happen in your caregiving journey. Adding judgment and critiques to that situation, especially family caregivers, we're not paid. Like you're unpaid. Like you don't get anything for doing what you're doing. You're doing it out of the love of your own heart. It can make them feel worse. Instead of giving advice, say, I'm here if you need me. How can I help? Those words mean so much. I don't think I ever was able to tell anybody exactly what they could do to help, but I sure liked it when they offered to help. And I think most caregivers feel that way. So do give them some space. Caregivers live under a microscope. Doctors, social workers, family members, even bill collectors are constantly demanding their attention. And caregivers need time to recharge. Whether it's a nap, how about a nice massage, a weekend getaway, time off isn't a luxury, it's a necessity in caregiving. So if the caregiver in your life asks for space, don't hesitate. Help make it happen. Offer to step in and handle responsibilities for a few hours. Answer the doctor, accompany them to the doctor, plan a weekend trip or a spa day as a gift, and then offer to sit with that loved one while they go and treat themselves to a spa. Don't guilt trip them. Caregivers sacrifice a lot in their life, often at the expense of their own personal hobbies, well-being, health, and life in general. And guilt trips only add to the already overwhelming stress that they're under. We have people that I deal with in the dementia coaching arena that go through even some pain and even some resentment at the time that it might take or how it takes away from their own life or their health. They may feel neglected. Perhaps they have avoided going to the hearing doctor, eye doctor, or general doctor. And this guilt only deepens their stress. Over time, they begin to realize that what they've done is a choice, and it was really the key to their life, and they're happy to support their partner. But at the end of the day, I've heard physicians say, why aren't you taking care of yourself? Well, how do you do that when you have a 36-hour day? Avoid comments like you're not taking care of yourself or that kind of thing. And you might say something like, I know how hard this is. What can I do to make things easier for you? How about I take you here or there? Or how about I make an appointment for you to get your hair done? Those kinds of things are really, really important. And do have empathy. Empathy is very important. Put yourself in the caregiver's shoes. If you're a friend, accompany them to visits or appointments. Get a glimpse of what they experience. I know this from personal experience that many of my longtime friends understood what we were going through as a family, but there were others that just didn't understand it. They'd never caregiven before. They never took care of their parents. They really just couldn't understand the 36-hour day. So be understanding and have empathy of what they're going through. Accompany a caregiver to see their loved one. If they're in a community, go with them where they have to go, run errands with them, especially if they're going on a trip and they have to visit somebody that's a few hours away. They try and go 2 or 3 times a week. Show empathy, be there with them. I did that recently, and I will never, ever regret that visit. The time that I got to sit with my friend, her mom died a short couple of weeks later, and I got to be there, got to see her mom again. I got to see what a great daughter she is. Don't forget to show empathy. We never know what people are going through. Don't judge. Caregiving decisions aren't easy for anyone. We all make mistakes. I've seen families, one family, a daughter, her father's dementia was linked to chronic alcohol abuse. Some family members question why she would take care of taking on his care and the responsibility of caring for him. He had done this for himself. Caregiving is often a choice. It can be driven and motivated by a lot of factors, including guilt, but love, duty, and forgiveness. It's not always logical why we do what we do, but don't judge what someone's doing. Be supportive. Respect a caregiver's decision without questioning their motives. We see that a lot. This is just a real good way to encourage someone who's a caregiver. Laugh. Do laugh. Laughter is a survival tool in caregiving, especially on the dementia journey. If we didn't laugh, we'd cry. Oftentimes we'd cry, and oftentimes we do cry. Laughter is great. It is wonderful. Finding humor, even in dark moments, can provide relief for a caregiver. So follow the caregiver's lead. If they're laughing, join in. Laughter is contagious. It can really lift heavy hearts. If you can find humor in something, please bring this in. Supporting a caregiver is critically important. And friends out there, nobody's abandoned you. Nobody's forgot you. But caregivers are spending their life, what is left of supporting their family member. We never know how long our loved one has to be with us. And I think at the end of the day, caregivers just want to do the best they can. That comes with a lot of factors. Friends and family support what they're doing. Send a card, send a note, brag about them to another family member. I am so glad that they take this responsibility and are taking care of grandma. I know my nieces and nephews said that means the world to me, and it's really important. So supporting a caregiver means walking alongside them with empathy, with patience, and with understanding. Small actions like listening, giving them space, showing empathy can really transform their experience. Appreciation, really important. Caregiving is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Your support makes all the difference in this journey. I want to thank you for listening today. If you know someone who could benefit from this, please share this episode. Until next time, this is Dawn Platt. Be kind and remember, it's okay to laugh. You're doing a good job, and make it a memorable day.
Thank you for joining us for the Disappearing Mind podcast. We hope it's helped you find clarity and support along your journey. Be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode, visit our website to suggest future topics, and share the podcast with friends and family.